Scotty Hasting is an Afghan veteran turned Nashville-based singer and songwriter. Today, I talk one-on-one with Scotty for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. Scotty Hasting, welcome to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Glad to be here. Super happy.
Yes, sir. I'm very happy too because I have a Nashville-based singer on Quintin's Close-Ups, and everybody knows that I love Nashville.
Yeah, thank you. Nashville's amazing. Absolutely.
Yes, I was just there 3 weeks ago, and I know that obviously you are a Nashville-based singer and songwriter, and obviously you're an Afghanistan veteran turned singer and songwriter. So,
Yes,
what's new? What's now with Scotty Hasting music?
What's new is I'm just really just putting out songs. We're technically not putting out songs yet. We're building a bunch of songs and we're getting them ready so that we can start releasing them. Yeah, I mean, I'm super busy always. And you know, it's great because I really have a very strong support system around me as far as not only with family but also with the people that are helping me in this crazy idea of a career called the music industry. You know, I have a bunch of stuff happening. I have a song that I'm working on with Lee Bryce right now. We're working on some other stuff with some other people, but yeah, I mean, that's really what we're doing right now is really just trying to build as many songs as we can so that whenever it comes time, we can just start releasing. Because I think what we're looking at trying to do is doing like one single every couple weeks or so, and then we'll just kind of do that, you know, because that seems to be kind of the way the music industry is now. Everyone just releases singles, and then a couple months later they release another single, and it just keeps happening over and over again. So I think that's kind of what we're doing right now. We're just building the building the amount that we have so that we can start releasing stuff. Yeah.
And so, what is your total timetable for releasing all of your music?
So right now we have 7 songs that are just about ready to go. So you're looking at we're looking at releasing them every couple months. So I mean, we could probably have them released within, you know, with all 7 of those be able to have at least this year and into next year already ready to go. So
wow. So let me ask you this, because you talked about this earlier, Scotty, but let me ask you, you talk about the music industry. What is the state of the music industry, particularly in my beloved Nashville?
That, you know, it's great, man. I mean, the music industry is a very big, small town in itself. You know, the music industry is huge because it goes all over the world, but in Nashville, it is very, very small, which is crazy to think. But everyone knows everybody. Everyone's connected. I mean, it's insane. Yeah, I mean, the state of it is great. I mean, people are pushing out music, and you know, it's unfortunately the dawn of, you know, having albums and CDs and stuff like that is really starting to go away, which is really sad. But at the same time, a lot of us that aren't very well known or independent artists, it's easier for us to really get our music out there on the digital platforms so that people all over the world can hear it, which is something that with CDs and records and stuff like that, you wouldn't have that availability. So it's good and bad.
Good and bad.
Yeah.
So what else is actually fading away from the music industry as you see it?
Really, that's it. Really, it's a lot of it is just the you know, the CDs and the records and stuff stuff that really used to, you know, you would go to a music store and you would buy like 3 or 4 of your favorite CDs and then you were good to go for a while. Can't do that anymore, unfortunately, which is crazy. Not a lot of people are putting CDs out. A lot of people are doing straight to the digital streaming stuff, which, you know, unfortunately, financially, it doesn't really help the artist because you're not getting what you would normally get from like CD sales and stuff like that. But it's making it more available for people who wouldn't have the availability. So I mean, it's kind of bad, but it's also a blessing in the sense that you can now reach anyone in the world. So yeah, it's that's really it. You know, a lot of it. You know, the unfortunately for songwriters, a lot of the artists who are coming up and becoming artists and, stuff like that, we're all kind of songwriters also. So the people who, are professional songwriters, they're not getting cuts like they used to. And it's becoming a little bit harder for people who are professional songwriters. But at the same time, I mean, if you write a good song, people are going to know it, and they're going to want to cut it anyhow. So, I mean, that's really the main differences that we're seeing now.
So you talked earlier about straight to digital platforms. How are you actually keeping up with that pace as an artist?
So right now, I do all of my stuff from home. There's different distributors that you can go through, yeah, I mean, now there's more distributors than there ever were. So you can do it all yourself, really. And honestly, like, you can find it on YouTube. So you can learn how to do just about anything in this industry, which is crazy. But I'm also in talks with a label now, so they're going to help with digital streaming and stuff like that. But yeah, a lot of it can all be done from home by yourself, which is again another thing that's incredible for an artist, for an independent artist, or someone who is just now coming up and doesn't have a label behind them yet, is the availability or the ability to be able to promote yourself and get yourself out there all over the world. So
all over the
it's
world.
Incredible.
Yeah, very much so. And you talk about all over the world. So who is your audience, Scotty?
My audience is anyone that likes music, man. Honestly, I don't have like a demographic that I try to shoot toward. I know that there are some artists that have demographic based like ideas of, they write a song and they want these people to hear it. No, I want everyone to hear my stuff, man. If they like it, they like it. If they don't, that's fine too. But if I want everyone to hear my stuff, and if they enjoy it, then keep listening to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of listening, what's on your playlist?
Oh man, on my playlist right now, literally basically anything that Luke Combs has put out ever in his life. The new Kelsey Ballerini EP that she just put out is freaking amazing. Absolutely a piece of work, and it's incredible. Some Turnpike Troubadours, absolutely. And I like a whole lot of everything. But I am a country guy, born, and so it's a lot of country, a lot of country.
A lot of country.
Yeah.
So what is the biggest misconception about country music today in your mind?
Oh man, it's the same misconception that's been that forever. Country songs are just about trucks and drinking beer and yeah. No, like I do have a song about a truck. Okay, I do. But that's not all country music is. I don't think people don't give. But there are people out there that don't really give country music a chance because they feel like country music has a stereotype of just being about trucks and about drinking beer and about all this, and they don't really give it a chance. But if you really look at like some country music and you listen to some of the songs, like most of country music is just storytelling.
Yes,
and it's really like, and it's one of the only genres now that you will actually get a story out of a song. And it's when I write a song or when I record a song, I want to record or write a song that tells a story. And, and that's a lot of like the 90s, early 2000s country. That was all it was. It was storytelling. And yeah, I think people don't give it enough credit, but that's really what it is. I mean, it's stories that are out there, and you're just listening to the wrong stuff if you think it's only trucks and beer.
Yes, exactly right.
Absolutely.
So what's personal stories of yours that you want to tell through your music?
Yeah, so I am a combat wounded Army Infantryman. I was shot in Afghanistan, and in my music, I tell stories about that. I tell stories about the people who didn't come home, the heroes in my eyes that didn't come home, with my music, I try to make it as real as possible because people seem to connect better with it if it's true, if it's real, if it feels real. So the music that I have out, or the music that I'm going to be putting out, is all real to me songs. Songs that I wrote, or songs that mean something to me. I heard it and it means something to me, and I connect with it. And if I connect with it, then I want to put it out there. So Yeah, a lot of it is, just telling my story, through songs.
2010 to 2015, you were deployed, many times, I believe, in Afghanistan, if I'm not correct. I know that you mentioned you were shot. When did your story become alive again? When you became a singer and songwriter?
Yeah. So it's funny. I actually shot archery with U.S. Paralympic program for a while after I got injured. I didn't actually start writing songs or really take music seriously until COVID hit, and then that was really like COVID was really good for me personally. In my personal growth, in the sense that I was able to find this new career path in writing music and playing music, and really, yeah, I think that's kind of what it was. It was kind of like being reborn, and like where my story starts, but not really where it starts, but kind of like where it it becomes easier for me to want to share it. As a veteran and as a guy, just in general, we're taught it. You just kind of shove everything down and you keep it in this little box, and that's how it is. And then with songwriting, it kind of forced me to open up and really look inside, and it kind of forced me to become more aware of my feelings and my emotions. And then, my girlfriend helps me with that as well. I mean, she kind of opens me up, and, but yeah, I mean, I feel like that's really kind of where maybe the story doesn't begin, but it becomes easier for me to open up about everything else.
When was it easier for you to open up about that and everything else?
Really, it was while I was during COVID, when I first started writing songs, and I started writing, understanding that the idea of if I wanted to be a successful songwriter or artist, I had to open myself up. I didn't have a choice. Like it wasn't like, oh, I can hold on to a little bit. No, you have to be open. You have to let people see who you are. And I knew if this was a career path that I wanted to go down, if I wanted to become an artist, if I wanted to become a songwriter, I knew that I had to open myself. I didn't have a choice. So it kind of, when I decided to make this a career, when I decided to pursue it further and become an artist and try to get signed and really get out there and be out there and put myself out there, that was when I really made the decision that I didn't have a choice. I had to open up. I had to be me, and I had to let people see me. So, yeah.
And how do people see you now that you told your story?
I'm hoping that people will just see me as a genuine person, someone who's just blessed to be here, blessed to be in the situation that he's in. I mean, I really started taking everything seriously when COVID hit, as far as music, and now I'm talking to a label, and I'm getting in front of people, and I have a song coming out with Lee Brice. Like, I'm further along now than a lot of people were at this time when they're in Nashville, and I'm just incredibly blessed with the people that I'm surrounded by, and being able to tell my stories and speak, tell other veteran stories also, because what I go through is a lot of what they go through also. And I think the main reason why I want to do this is because I want to help tell the veterans, and I want to help tell them their story. Like, I want to help tell their stories. And a lot of veterans have responded incredibly well to the songs that I have out and that I'm going to be putting out, because it really truly is stuff that they deal with, or stuff that they think about, that they're not really sure how to say it. And the song is like, I have a song called "How Do You Choose," and it's a song that I'm going to be putting out sometime this year, and it's really a song about how does God make the choice that I'm still here after getting shot 10 times in Afghanistan, but my buddies didn't come back. How is that choice made? And really being able to put that into a song. I've get so much great feedback from veterans saying, man, like, I get this. Like, I've never been able to put this in words. And, that song just, it is what I deal with. And being able to hear that and stuff, I mean, that's such an incredible like, that's why I do it, man. I do it to help people, and that's, at the end of the day, that's what I want to do. So, yeah.
Before music, Scotty, who was helping you try to tell your story?
So before me, it was really before music. It was really just honestly going to therapy, man. I would go to therapy and really try to deal with the issues that I was having to deal with. There wasn't really anyone trying to tell my story, and and I think that's one of the reasons why I was like, yeah, I need to force myself to do this. I have to get out there. I have to let people, and I have to let other veterans see that it's okay to be out there. It's okay to open up. It's okay to feel the feelings that you're feeling. Like, it's all right, man. But yeah.
And when you're telling those, other veteran stories, where are you still emotionally?
I'm doing a lot better. And the thing with writing songs and being, vulnerable and stuff is it really helps. It's, music for me is a form of therapy in general, and being able to, open up and tell other veteran stories and tell my stories has really, really helped me. Just really with dealing with everything. And I really, at the end of the day, with helping other veterans, I really want it to help them as well. I want that, if there's a guy who's, having a hard time talking to his therapist or whatever, for him to just play a song that I wrote and be like, this is what I'm dealing with. And then it can go from there, and it can open up this whole nother corridor that they haven't been able to explore because he's not, that veteran isn't really sure how to open their mouth and say what it is, so, but yeah, I'm doing a lot better. Absolutely.
Well, that's good. Yeah. Thank God for that. And how do you want to continue to tell your story in a different form of music?
Yeah, I don't, I don't know really. I'm just kind of hoping that, I get the chance to tell it in this form, and, in country and really going out and playing and being able to tell my story a little bit, and being able to randomly meet up with veterans who are in the crowd, and they're like, hey man, like, I just need to talk to you, and just being able to talk. I try to tell, everyone that I meet that I want to be super accessible. I want people to be able to message me on Instagram or whatever and be like, hey man, like, this is what I'm dealing with. And then, kind of, either send you to the right people, or just be able to talk, and yes. I want to be accessible to people. Man, unfortunately, that's just the type of person I am. I kind of want to help. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And you talk about being on stage. I know, obviously, you were just at the Moxie a couple of days ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, being on stage is, it's unlike anything I've ever felt. It's really cool. Yeah, I play a lot here in Nashville. I actually just opened for Dave Grohl not that long ago in Arizona. Oh. But yeah, I mean, being on stage to me is my escape. It really is. It's, as a veteran and as someone who's been in all of the crap that we deal with from day to day, from, going to war and, dealing with all the demons that come in, you're always trying to find that escape, in some way, shape or form. And, for me, it's playing music, being on stage, being, and the best part about it is I'm able to, live that for 3 to 4 hours at a time when I'm on stage. So it's, yeah, that's what being on stage for me is. It's an escape. It's therapy, man.
So. Absolutely. And I was just at the Moxie just 3 weeks ago for work. Had to take some menus and stuff down there for Church and Union. So I was over there. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Great.
It's a great spot. It really is a great spot. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man. I got to go to the Johnny Cash Museum at some point.
Yeah, right across the street.
That's exactly right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I miss that city a whole lot. But so when you're out there, obviously performing, who is Scotty Hasting?
I am me, man. I'm the veteran that got shot in Afghanistan, the guy who's just trying to live his life. And that's, I will always be me, man. I'm never going to be fake. I'm never going to be some guy who sings songs that don't mean anything to me. If I'm singing a song, there's a reason, and a lot of it is because it connected with me in some way, shape, or form. Whether either I wrote it straight from my heart, or I heard it from another person who wrote it, and I connected with it. So when I'm on stage, I'm 100% me, and I will always be. So
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Absolutely. And
Yeah.
you talk about obviously collaborating with some notable, musicians in
hmm
Nashville and beyond. So, what artist actually resembles your music?
I really think it's kind of a plethora of different veterans or different artists.
Sure.
Um, I think I don't know. I think my sound is a little bit more like my sound and my song style is a little bit more like Luke Combs in the sense that my songs aren't just like that boyfriend country thing that's going on. It's very much not Florida Georgia Line, and it's a lot more like sentimental. Like when you hear my song or when you hear my songs when I'm sitting there saying, I want you to be able to close your eyes and see what's happening in the song. Like I said, I want to tell stories with my songs, and Luke Combs does that a lot. He does that really well, and I want to be that. I think my sound. I've heard people say that I sound a lot like um, Luke Combs. I've heard people say that I sound a lot like Lee Bryce, which is crazy because now I have a song coming out
Right.
with him.
Yes.
And actually hearing our two voices together, I was like, okay, yeah, I kind of do sound like Lee Bryce. Like that's weird, but I kind of do. I hear people say that I sound like Brantley Gilbert. It really all depends on the mood and the song, and really the mood of the song, really.
Yes.
And yeah, but at the end of the day, I just try to sound like me. I want people to, eventually maybe hear my stuff on the radio and be like, oh yeah, that's Scotty, and know that voice. So yeah.
Yeah, we need to get you on Opry Live next.
Let's go. I'm
Yes.
so down with that. That'd be great.
Yes, I watch it every
Absolutely.
Saturday night now, so that's an amazing
Yeah.
place. Man.
Yeah, the Opry is a man. That's when you know you're doing something.
Yes.
When you debut in the Opry, that's when you know that your music is doing something in this industry.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Yeah, man. And which one of your songs, Scotty, actually really describes you?
Really, right now that's out is The Stories That They Tell. I have a song called The Stories That They Tell that's out right now, and it's a song about why we as veterans tell the stories that we do. Whenever we're talking to other veterans and having conversations, and a lot of it is because for us to tell the stories that we tell about the people that we lost, for those split seconds while we're telling that story, those people are alive again. And that's something that we live for, to be able to have those people again in our thoughts and in our minds, and being able to tell the stories is what makes them come to life for us. That, and then I have some other songs coming out that are very, very much me. But yeah, that one's the one that's out right now that I really, really like. That was like a song that I wrote that was truly one of the first ones that I really opened up about, and that's definitely it.
What else do you want to open up about when it comes to your past?
Yeah, I mean, I'm an open book, man. Literally, it's anything. The main thing. I mean, I've lived great. I had a great childhood. Had amazing parents. Had played sports most of my life, and then joined the military, and then got shot. So, I mean, I'll in any of that, man. I mean, I've lived a great life, but with getting shot, that's really one thing that completely changed everything for me. It changed the way that I operate, with now having the nerve damage that I have in my right hand, and it changed my life. It really did. It showed me that there's no time to waste. That everything could be over in a split second, and you need to truly take advantage of every moment that you have. And it also kind of showed me that, hey, if you want to do it, go out there and try it, man. And that's kind of what how music happened for me. It was like, I want to do this, but it's kind of scary. It kind of freaks me out a little bit, but at the end of the day, what do I have to lose? Let's go. And I did it, and now here I am. So that is really the one thing that I love writing about, because it changed everything. It changed my whole mental outlook. It changed me physically. I mean, it really, yeah, it really changed everything for me.
Wow. So, Scotty, what are your physical limitations when it comes to making music?
Yeah. So I have nerve damage in my right hand. which is my strumming hand. I still play the guitar, but I actually strap this pick on my thumb. So I take it on my thumb here,
Right.
and then I strap it. There we go. Then I strap it on, and that's how I play. So I just kind of strum on my guitar. That's really the only limitation that I found. The next thing I want to learn is I want to learn how to play the piano. So that's next. But the thing with me that kind of my girlfriend, it drives her crazy because I just try everything.
Yes, sir.
And I'm like, I'm gonna try it, and then it just works out that sometimes I'm really good at it. But yeah, she's like, I just don't like you just try. You don't care. You just try it, and I'm like, yeah, like why not? So yeah, it the guitar was something that I worked on a lot, and I play it all the time at every show that I play, and I want to play the piano next, man. I want to learn how to play the piano, so that's next. But really, that's the only limitation. But I've never been one that's let what happened to me stop me from doing something. I'm either going to figure it out or I'm going to fail miserably. And a lot of times failing kind of teaches me how to adapt it. So, with guitar, with my injury, I shouldn't be able to play guitar, but I figured out a way to do it. So I figured if I can figure out how to play guitar, I can figure out how to play piano. And so I'm just going to keep learning instruments until I'm like, well, dang, I literally can't learn anything else. So, yeah.
So what are those other musical failures that have allowed you to become the successful artist and singer and songwriter that you are today?
Definitely anything that has to do with learning how to do it two-handed, having to adapt to it. Definitely there's some times when I go to write a song and I'm like, it's not that great. But that's with everybody. You're as a songwriter, you'll write something and you'll feel great about it, and then you'll listen to it again. You're like, God, I'm so glad I never pitched that to anybody. Like that is not good. But yeah, I feel like the music industry in itself is kind of just a learning process. Not only learning how to write and write stuff that people like and that they can connect with, but also just learning how the industry itself works, because there's so many moving parts within the industry. Like there's so many things that you can learn in this industry. Not only can you learn how to play every freaking instrument that's out there, but you can also learn how to work the software for when you start recording. I mean, there's always something in this industry that you can learn. Even like the back end, working on, how do I market myself? How do I build my brand? Like, sure. There's always something you can learn. And, that's my favorite part about it, really. It's just all the stuff that always learning something.
Yes, sir. And what is the biggest difference about your writing style?
My writing style is different because like I said, I'm super blessed to be around the people that I'm around. A guy that I write with on basically the guy that I co-write with all the time is his name is Doug Johnson, and he wrote Three Wooden Crosses by Randy Travis. He wrote Love Like Crazy by Lee Brice. He wrote If She's Lonely Now, She Won't Be Lonely Long. And so I'm surrounded by him. So he's taught me a lot on how to kind of structure a writing process. And for me, it's always been, I kind of hear a melody and I like it. I think it's pretty. So then I start writing to it. Either that, or sometimes I'll have like a title in my head, or I'll have this kind of like this little hum that I've been doing, and I kind of want to go with that. Yeah, it really all depends. There's just so many things, that you, as a writer, you really have to keep your eyes open at all times, because there's so many things that could influence a write or a song. Yeah, for me, I like starting with a melody. I like having a bass there, and then just kind of writing from there. Whether if the chorus comes first or the verse comes first, I don't really try to push a chorus first or a verse first. It's whatever comes at that moment while I'm sitting there playing the melody.
And what are you keeping your eyes open to next when it comes to the ever-changing music industry?
Oh man, just Just everything. You have to. Unfortunately, you have to, and you have to have a team behind you that has their eyes open also, and kind of, you also have to have someone. If you want to get big, if you want to stay current in this industry, you have to have people who not only can see what's going on in the industry, but someone who kind of understands the future of the industry, and how it's going to move and how it's going to shift. Because I mean, the music industry is always shifting, especially the country music industry, because you have, there's so many different subgenres within the country genre. So there's always a new subgenre coming up. There's always one of them going away, and I mean, there's always stuff happening. So it's really just, really keeping your eyes open on all of it, really all of it, and how crowds are reacting to other people. A lot of it is just watching other artists and seeing what they're doing and how they're doing it, and if it's working, great. If it's not, then maybe we need to figure something else out. Yeah, that's a lot of what it is.
What subgenre relates to your music?
Me, I'm more of an Americana type of sound, which is really cool because Americana can spread multiple genres, which is really cool. But for my sound, I would say that the Americana sound is more of what I am. So yeah.
Wow, that's really, really amazing. Well, Nashville-based singer and songwriter Scotty Hasting, thank you so much for your time. And again, welcome to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Yeah, thank you so much. So thank you for having me. It was great.
You're welcome. Anytime.